I I don't know. I don't know. I might have made a bad choice, guys. I might have made a bad purchase here. My first bad purchase. I don't know. You'll be the judge of that maybe, and you can tell me whether you think this was a stupid thing to do or not. Hey guys, what's going on? Jamie here again, and welcome to another game collecting vlog here on Sidescrollin, where I am trying to track down as many, if not all, of the games from my childhood and youth that I remember most fondly. It's Monday morning here on week 3 now on the game hunt. I've got a really busy week coming up this week actually, so we're going to see what the week brings. I'm hoping I'll poke my nose into a few secondhand stores here and there if I can squeeze them in between work and errands. I've got Turok 2 actually coming up tonight that I'm playing with Scott, which I'm very much looking forward to. But other than that, a few eBay things on the watch list actually. A few, to be honest, that I'm really excited about, and if they pan out, I will be a happy boy, and hopefully you'll be seeing them later on at the end of the week. But for now, hey, let's go and hope we get lucky and get on into things. Let's do it. All right, good morning guys. It is Wednesday morning here on week 3 of the hunt. I've had a really busy week this week. Flat out the last couple of days. I've got another really busy day today, doing grocery shopping, my favorite thing to do. But while I'm out, I thought I'd just poke my head into that cash converters that I went to last week. Scott watched the video and sent me a list of games that he's chasing that he wants me to go back and have a look for. So, can you believe this guy? Good old Scotty. So we're going to go poke our head back in there for Scotty's sake. See, I'll have a bit closer look now that I know that they've got a whole ton of stuff reduced, just to see if there's anything that I'm chasing or wanting in there. I might pop my head back into that CEX that I went into, just because I'm going to be in the area. It's been about a week now, just to see if they've got anything new that grabs my attention. But that's going to be it for today. Later on in the week, I might be going to another store that's over the other side of town that I don't usually go into, so I might make the drive up there and see what they've got. I haven't been there for a long time. Occasionally they've got games, but yeah, we'll go and we'll have a look and we'll see what's going on. So that's the plan for today, and yeah, we'll see what we find. Hopefully something. Alright, I just had to head into the post office to drop off some orders for work, and right next door there's like a tiny little secondhand bookshop that has just a little shelf of games. I usually stop in there and just check if they've got anything while I'm in the post office, but no luck today. Never mind, next time. Alright, no love in CEX. They didn't really have anything different. They did have one of the games on Scott's list, but it was like $50 and I don't think Scott's paying that price. So on my way to Cash Converters now. I did go back and ask about that copy of Monster Hunter that they had on the shelf that was damaged. It was still there. Just checked whether they'd do it any cheaper for a damaged game, but no, no luck. I took it up to the counter and she was like, "Oh, it's only got a hole through the label." I was like, "Yeah, that's the point. I can get another case easy. I can't get another label easily." But anyway, so yeah, I don't think she could really understand what the big deal was. So it got left there. So we'll have to track that one down somewhere else. They weren't really interested in haggling or bartering. They were like, whatever the price is, that's what it is, and we can't change it. So, oh well, they miss out on that one. Anyway, I'll head up on this street up here to Cash Converters, and we'll see if we can get a bit lucky in there. Well, I ended up walking out of there with a couple of bits and pieces. Spent more money than I meant to or intended to. Found a few things for Scott that weren't on his list, but they were cheap, so we'll take a gamble, see how we go. But yeah, there goes my budget for the week, I suppose. Shit. Okay, well that's today's adventures finished. Yeah, I mean, it was, again, fun having a look around. We had a couple of interesting little finds, just little finds in Cash Converters today. One that cost me a considerable amount of money. I'm a sucker, man, for an impulse, a bit of both the same thing, really. An impulse purchase. I'm the worst for impulse purchases. Anyway. So we definitely made an impulse purchase today, and I'll see how I feel about it in a few days' time when we do the wrap up and show you what I got, whether I've got the buyer's remorse or whether I'm happy with what I did. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Now I get to go and have the fun experience of doing the grocery shopping. Yippee, lucky me. We'll see if later in the week we can find some time to go and check out another store that I don't usually get to. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. Good morning, friends. It is Thursday morning here on week 3, and I thought what I might do today is give you a little look through the game shelf, the display shelf that sits behind me when I'm doing streaming, and have a look at some of the things that are already in my nostalgic game collection that I managed to find or have held on to through the years before I started recording it. So I managed to come across, I've got quite a bit of stuff on this shelf that I'm sitting in front of right now. So yeah, we'll just have a little browse through this, and I'll show you what's on there, and it might be of interest, it might not. So here is my shelf backdrop in its entirety. We'll have a bit of a look through each shelf and see what's on there. So top shelf, I've got some pieces of artwork. Some of them are mine, some of them are pieces that I've picked up from friends or were gifted to me by friends at Supernovas over the years, so that's very much appreciated, and I love having them there to remind me. Top shelf, we've got my absolute favorite Pokemon of all time, the bestest there ever was, my Bulbasaur. And then we've got my 3 Pokemon game boxes, original game boxes. Now, I say original game boxes, they're not original, they are reproductions, original artwork. I'm just having a little sit down here. For a long time, only these two had games in them, and this one was just an empty box that was waiting and hoping to be filled. But I have since filled it just before I started recording my vlog. So it was probably that purchase that prompted me to start making a record of this whole process. But now they all have cartridges in there, just cartridges, no manuals. I'm not that rich, but I think they look really great. I just love having them there. You know, they're very special little titles for lots and lots and lots of people, I'm sure. We've got my Hollow Knight plushie and a couple of little Hollow Knight figurines that I've had. I can't remember where I got them, but I like them a lot. We've got my little Vaporeon sticker here, again a Supernova gift. I've got a framed, at the moment, piece of artwork of Hades. I don't know whether, I plan on probably switching that around. Like sometimes I'd like to be able to change what's the artwork that's actually in it. But for the moment it's Hades, because I just love, I'm a bit hard with the glare, maybe from this angle, there we go. I just love that piece of artwork of Hades, it's so cool. All right, moving down, we have World of Warcraft: The Burning Crusade complete in box. The first, that's, you know, very obviously special and nostalgic to me because that was my first foray into World of Warcraft. That's where I started, was when Burning Crusade was released. I've got an original Game Boy, again, not in an original box. This is a reproduction box that was actually very kindly gifted to me when I bought this Game Boy. And it looks really good. It looks nice, looks just like the original, obviously shinier and better quality than the original would be now. But not my original chunky Game Boy. I never owned a Game Boy. I bought that secondhand from that particular gentleman, and he gave me the box as well. And he's actually the same person that I bought Pokemon Yellow from. So that was great. We've got a couple of little vinyl figures. I love these Pokemon vinyls. Select, I think they call them, the Select series. They're just such good quality, I think. And I picked these up for, I can't remember how much. They were really cheap. I think they were getting cleared out for some reason. I hope they don't stop selling them. I'd like to get more. I've got a couple of those scattered around the place. Totodile and Jigglypuff there. Speaking of Pokemon, there's quite a lot of Pokemon on this shelf here. This is, I'm just, you know, I absolutely love Pokemon, obviously, and I'm trying to just grab as many of the games as I can just to have physical copies of. They're something that, you know, they're not making any more of them, are they? As Scott is so fond of telling me. But we've got Heart Gold, which it was one of my biggest regrets from selling in my youth, but I now own it again. I'd like to get Soul Silver to go with it. We've got Black, we've got White 2 and Blue Rescue Team, both were gifts from my friend Jeff. Jeff, you're an absolute hero. Love you, buddy. Pokemon X, I recently got back in the collection. Again, another one that I sold earlier on. What else we got there? Alpha Sapphire I have yet to play, but that is on my list to try. I'm not sure if I should try... I've never actually played Gen 3 before. That's, I think, the only gen of the old school Pokemon games that I haven't played. So I don't know whether to play Alpha Sapphire or the original Sapphire if I can find a version somewhere, if I can find a copy of it for something that's not equal to limbs and kidneys, you know. Phantom Hourglass, A Link Between Worlds. Apparently, I ignored this one when it came out. Apparently, it's quite good. So I got this really cheap just before Christmas last year, I think, 2023. And I really want to give that a go. So when I get the chance, I'm going to try that one out. Ocarina of Time. Funny story about this other way, Jigglypuff. This game here, I actually found at a second-hand store. You can see there's a little bit of a dent in the cover there, but it's complete with manual. This second-hand store, they have like, they've got like buckets that they just have like anything that's like game or vaguely game related, empty CD cases, empty DVD cases, that sort of thing. They just throw into these buckets on the floor underneath where the DVDs go. And every now and then I'll poke my head in and I'll have a look. It's usually just rubbish, right? Like, you know, Bejeweled and stuff like that. But every now and then they just happen to have something in there that is so at odds with all the other crap that's in there. And on this particular day, this was just sitting there on the top of everything, on top of all the empty cases and broken, busted up cases and mass market Xbox 360 games and whatever. They had this there for $5, and I was like, yes, I am taking that. That shop does not owe me anything. Anyway, I don't care if I never find anything there ever again. That was worth going in there that day just to come across that. And I've got Majora's Mask as well. I've never actually played Majora's Mask. Very difficult to play Majora's Mask physically now. So I got a copy of the 3D remake. I know it's slightly different, but again, another one that's very high on my list to try when I get the chance. We've got my original gold Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is one of the few items that I still own from my younger years. I was so silly, as we all are in those days. We get rid of all of our shit because it doesn't mean anything to us at the time, and then we wish we hadn't many years later. Well, this is the one thing that I have held on to this entire time. So it's not in perfect condition. It's pretty good. It's got a few scuffs on the front, but that's okay. It's got a lot of important meaning to me. Quirrell's here. We've got Breath of the Wild in the back. Now this is one of my biggest scores. This is Pokemon Platinum, and as you can see, it's still new in shrink wrap. Now this one I got as an eBay find, and oh man, all the stars must have just aligned that day, I think, because I must have just stumbled across. It wasn't an auction; it was a buy it now item, and I must have just come across it as soon as they had listed it. It must have just been a total case of right place, right time, because they had listed it for quite a bit less than what it is worth. So I don't know if it's somebody who just didn't know the value of what it was, or was just trying to get rid of it, or somebody, you know, maybe clearing out their kids' old bedroom once they'd moved out of home or something. I don't know what happened there, but I remember sending this to Scott and going, is this for real? And Scott was like, holy shit. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. So I splurged out. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still wasn't cheap, but I did splurge out on that one and got it, and I'm very happy I've got it. And I've got a acrylic protector on it now, and now it sits there. This is another one that I had and played when it was first released and then got rid of. I'm not the biggest fan of that generation of games, if I'm perfectly honest. It's not my favorite, but I did like, there's not a generation of Pokemon that I don't like, that I actively dislike. So, but it does have a lot of, nostalgic value, because I do remember sinking an awful lot of hours into that game, and now I've got it again. I won't be able to ever open this one and play it, of course, but but I've got it. We've got a little Mega Man here, Goku in the back, and we've got this here, which is, I wonder if I can get this out. Goku, I think I need you to move for a second, bud. It's not going to be easy. I might just move Platinum out of the way for a second, because it's pretty well in there. So this is something that Scott made for me, and it is just fantastic. So it's a physical copy of Mega Man 2, and then he has made this amazing display frame for it. Like it's got like all the robot masters in the back there. Like, it's such a cool, it's probably the coolest gaming piece of paraphernalia that I own, and all the more special because it was custom made just for me. It's a one-of-a-kind gift, and I just absolutely love it, and it's something I will hold on to forever and never get rid of. I adore it. All right, let's go downstairs. One more shelf. I'm going to get off my chair. Whoops, sorry, camera work. No, is not great at the moment. Okay, now let's see. What do we got down here? So this is. I was all too happy to have this. This is a box. It's empty, but it's a Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I think it's 4th edition or 5th edition. I think 5th edition box. Like, look at that. Oh, man, this is so tightly packed. I mean, just look at the artwork. Like, I love Warhammer, or I loved past tense Warhammer very, very much. And I remember when he got this box. I remember like breaking that open and poring over it with him in his lounge room, and there's so many memories. I won't go into detail because, you know, that's probably a whole other channel, a whole other vlog, Warhammer memories, but so many good memories centered around this game and this box in particular. So yeah, when he didn't want it anymore, I was like, yes please, I would love to have that on my shelf just for the memories, just for the nostalgia. So that's there. Going downstairs here, we've got Spider-Man and Venom Disney Infinity figures. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I've done a few videos now about Spider-Man, talked quite a lot about Spider-Man on the channel, which you can go and watch. But they are there. Lilac Wars, aka Star Fox 64, as it's known in the US. This is a repro box again, but a genuine cart inside. I may end up, if I find a genuine box for not much money, I can see me replacing this, upgrading that to the real deal. But for now, I'm happy to have that on a shelf. One of my favorite 64 games, lots of good memories on that one. We've got Cloud Amiibo here, another gift from my buddy Gary. Very, very happy to have him. And we've got the Final Fantasies. Now, funny story, these I literally, it might have been actually these were the most recent purchase I made just before I started deciding to record putting the game shelf together. I owned both of these and Final Fantasy IX, which is still on my list to find. And there's a bit of a saga to this one. So I bought this, well, not this particular one, the other one's in another room on a shelf somewhere. But I bought this at a fairly decent sort of price for what this goes for, and it was supposed to be in perfect condition. Now, as you can see, this one is in very, very good condition. I would say almost near perfect, really. It's complete, it's got the manual, all discs and everything like that. When I ordered this though, this copy right here that I'm holding is not the one that showed up. The one that showed up, and I'll put some, I might try and put some footage of it over the top here now, but the one that showed up, I've done a lot of work to clean it up and make it look respectable, and I'm really happy with how compared to what it looked like when it turned up to what it looks like now, it's like night and day. But when it showed up, it was covered in stickers, price stickers, old shop stickers, like that had clearly been there for decades. It had looked like it had just been kicked around. It was broken. The top lid, the opening sort of, this part here was busted off in the package. It was just smashed. It was a terrible thing. Nothing, certainly not the product that I bought. And so I got in touch with them and said, hey, what's the story here? And they said that I got sent the wrong one. That somebody had actually bought that trashed up garbage one, and they had sent it to me instead of that person. So they refunded me, luckily, and because the thing that came with that smash up one was it had a manual in it, a perfect condition manual. Which is now in this case, because then I went and bought a much cheaper copy of Final Fantasy VIII in very, very good condition, but it was being sold cheaply because it had no manual. Well, I bought that for very cheap. I think it was $20. Took the manual out of it. Put the manual from the smashed one into the really good condition one, and now I have a complete copy of Final Fantasy VIII in the end, finally. So that's my Final Fantasy VIII saga. And I was like, oh, That was an interesting story. Maybe I should start recording these. And thus, you are now watching this. Final Fantasy VII, you know, I don't need to say much about that. An absolute classic. I used to own this as well, but again, got rid of it. I wanted to have it back in my collection, and now I do. This is not, it's not hard to find, but to find non-platinum versions of any Final Fantasy game at the moment, but the original Black Label PlayStation version, not the Platinum PlayStation version, is quite difficult. But I wanted them. I wanted the originals because I wanted the artwork on the CDs, not the silver platinum CDs. And that was quite difficult to find. And when I could find versions, Black Label versions of 7, they were very, very expensive. I managed to pick this one up, I think, for, I want to say $50, something like that. Which compared to the $90, $100, $120 that people were asking for original Black Label versions, I kind of walked away with a bit of a steal there. So, and again, really good condition. It's got a little crack in the case front here, as you can see, but yeah, compared for the price, I was like, it is pretty immaculate. Moving over, we got Sephiroth, which I've just picked up fairly recently. It was only pretty newly released here, and so now that gives me Cloud and Sephiroth together. We've got a little Cyndaquil here. We've got a DS Lite that I'm sort of in the process of fixing up. It needed a new battery, so I've replaced the battery in it. And now it's got a pretty bad screen tearing, screen dead pixel issue, so it needs a new screen as well. But that's a little fix-up job for one day. They're sitting on top of my copies of Diablo 2. One of my absolute favorite games of all time. I adore Diablo 2. I had a copy of both of these in a, you know, like the DVD style cases, but I remember just really fondly remember the actual cardboard boxes, having the boxes, and those Blizzard boxes that unfold. I'll see if I can move some stuff here. You can see Diablo here has a little bit of, they've pulled off a sticker, a price or a sale sticker or something that was on it. They've ripped that off and it's taken some of the top layer off. But other than that, it's in really good. I mean, look at that. Oh, I just love it. I just love it. And I love having this box. The Diablo Lord of Destruction, this, I was like, is this legit? Because it looks new. Like, it looks too clean, too, like, look at it. It is pristine. I was like, do reproduction boxes exist of Lord of Destruction? It looks like it'd be a tricky one to reproduce. Maybe they do, I don't know. But yeah, I couldn't believe how good a condition this thing was in. Maybe it is a repro box. If it is, they've done an amazing job. But I think it's for real with the flip cover on it. Yeah, I couldn't believe my luck with that one. I got really lucky. So I've got both of those now. Oh, and while I've got that off, obviously we've also got the D&D Art and Arcana book, which I adore very much. My other passion besides video games and tabletop games is Dungeons and Dragons, and this is a gorgeous book. I don't know if you can still get it or not, but if you can and you're a D&D fan, I would highly recommend it. All right, let's get all this put back. Oh God, Cyndaquil's taking a tumble. Sorry, buddy. There you go. I always thought it was a bit funny having Cyndaquil sitting on top of Diablo boxes too. Bit of a juxtaposition if ever there was one. All right, downstairs. What do we got going on down here? Downstairs is kind of where stuff just gets sort of chucked when I'm not really sure where to put it yet. Oh, I forgot this one. I better put this one back. Hollow Knight. Just got this recently. I've only ever owned a digital copy of Hollow Knight, but I managed to find this. This is so hard to find. I think when I checked last, there were like 2 for sale in Australia on eBay. Yeah, I got lucky on this one. But I've never owned. I've flirted with getting the collector's edition for quite a while, but it's so expensive. You have to import it from Fangamer from the US. It's just the price is a little bit out of my reach, honestly. But I was happy to find a physical copy, and they've got like little manual. It's got a manual, a modern game with a manual. Can you believe it? I can't take it out with two hands. With one hand, sorry. I can't take it out with two hands. It'd be a problem if I couldn't. So I'm not sure where Hollow Knight's going to live yet. So he's sitting there. That was a fairly recent one as well, along with these Final Fantasies. But he's going to live there for just a moment until I find a home, a more permanent home. All right, downstairs. If we can shove some of the rubbish out of the way. You probably got a little bit of a look at it there while I was yapping away. So I've got my art books here and guides. I've got the Diablo 2 strategy guide, which I found in a second-hand store for, I don't know, $1 or $2. Very happy. I've had that for quite a few years, actually. I've been carrying it from house to house. My Stronghold, which you would have seen on the first entry, it's going on here as well. We've got some World of Warcraft guides that I picked up at a op shop. Probably paid too much for those, really, but they're also quite difficult to find now. Well, I find them difficult anyway. Pokemon Collectors, what's that say? Handbook. We've got the Art of Pokemon Adventures, which is a lovely, lovely book. The Art of the Manga. God of War, gorgeous art book. Skyrim, that's a strategy guide for Skyrim. We've got some WoW art books. Usually these are from the collector's editions. They get sold separately quite cheaply, usually. Except for this one here is very, very difficult to find, the very first one. But again, I got lucky and managed to get that at a good price. We've got a Battle Academy box, mainly because I don't have anywhere else to put it right now. So that will probably be getting moved when I do have somewhere to put it. I'll shove that out of there. Diablo 3 art book. Dragon Ball Z. Oh man, I love Dragon Ball Z so much. And I didn't have a physical copy of the series. I used to have several of the old Funimation box sets that had that still had the Ocean dubbing for the first couple of like season and a bit, and I got rid of them, and they are worth an absolute fortune now. And hindsight, right? Anyway, my buddy Alan gave me this because he was getting rid of it. And I was like, oh, yes, please. I will have that on my shelf. Thank you very much. It's the digitally remastered version. It doesn't have Bruce Falconer's tracks, unfortunately, but it is a physical version of the series. So now I at least have that, and I'm very grateful that he was kind enough to give that to me. We've got a couple of little bits and bobs here. Plushie Pokeball. We've got this, the Pokeball controller for Pokemon Let's Go. I always thought these were cool. I just didn't want to shell out how much they wanted for them brand new at the time. I can't remember how much they were, but for what is essentially a joystick and a single button controller, like you can see the button there, they wanted an extraordinary amount of money. Bit grubby, probably could use a little bit clean, but it's basically brand new, honestly. Like the condition is practically brand new. The man I bought this from did me a really, really good price. He was a lovely fellow. Quite contrary to a lot of people you deal with on Facebook Marketplace, and we had a good old chat actually about Pokemon. But yeah, I saw it there and I thought, oh, what a cool little trinket just to have. I've always wanted one, and now I managed to find one for cheap. I picked it up. This was quite a while ago, start of last year sometime, I think. We've got this lovely little number. This is my friend Ash. Crochets these. How cute is that? Again, another Supernova gift. I get very lucky at Supernova, I really do. Everyone who goes is just wonderful. I've made so many lovely friends at Supernova. But that was a gift from last year. We've got a couple of little people hiding back here. We've got an Emolga that my mum got me. Again, I think it was like an op shop or a Facebook Marketplace jobby. And I've got the crocheted Woolly Yoshi. The amiibo, yes. So this is something I've been carrying around for years and years and years. I found this at a secondhand store, actually. I probably got this for $1. People, you know, somebody that was just in with the plush toys, you know, like they have a big bin of plush old teddy bears from grandma's houses and things. Well, this Yoshi's woolly Yoshi amiibo was in with that, and I probably got it for $1. I don't know what it's worth now. I think it's probably pretty well sought after, but yeah, still got it, still held on to that one. And so there we go. So that's the shelf. If I can get up off the floor here. There we go. The shelf. Oh, we've got a picture up here as well. We've got Warhammer. That's the famous Chaos Warrior by John Blanche. Amazing artist. Love his work, especially all his Mordheim stuff. So I found that. I found that poster in a White Dwarf magazine, again, that I picked up at a secondhand store, and it still had that in there, and I couldn't quite believe it. So I knew that was going to get framed and put on the wall. I just love that piece of art, as well as, you know, pretty much everything that John Blanche does. But there we go. That is the game display, or the game shelf, that sits behind me as a backdrop, and that's everything that I have in my collection currently, in addition to some Switch stuff and what else we got? A couple of Wii and GameCube bits and pieces here and there. I can show you them another day. But what you see here, plus my Switch collection, is basically it. And then we move on to now my retro old school collection, which a lot of this, yeah, fits into it. You can, as you can see, you know, I had started looking for little pieces to put in that collection before I started recording it, and that is what I have so far, in addition to what I've managed to collect that you've already seen on the channel so far on the vlog. And hopefully this week I can add to it. I can say that I have had two eBay, I'm expecting a couple more hopefully tomorrow, but I've had two really good eBay finds come in that I am very, very, very happy and excited about. One in particular I was actively searching for. Like, I usually just sort of peruse and browse and see what I can find, but this one I was like, I want this if I can find it, and I found it for what I think was a pretty good price. And so you will see that at the end of the week. All right, let's keep on going. I'm about to record a video, and then we'll get on with the day. Okay, we just had a very exciting package delivery that I didn't want to wait to share until the end of the week, because I know this one's going to be big. You ready? Check this out. Hairdryer, baby. Now I know that it's probably, you know, hard to believe that I don't already own a hairdryer, but I don't. But now I do, not for hair drying, of course, but for getting stubborn stickers off of game cases. So stupid. Yes, so exciting. All right, good afternoon, guys. It is Friday afternoon here now, and holy shit, did my week go to hell in a handbasket. Just a lot of personal stuff's come up, so I am currently in the middle of racing around town trying to get everything I need to get done before the weekend arrives. This is going to be my last chance to get out and about and see what I want to see, do what I want to do. So I'm very quickly just stopping in at that secondhand store, that Lifeline that I was talking about, that was over the other side of town while I'm out and I have the chance. And so yeah, we're going to jump in there. We're going to see what they've got. I'm not hopeful. I don't have high hopes. It's mostly a clothing store, but I haven't been over here for a very, very long time, so you just never know. So let's duck on over there and we'll see what they've got. well, that was largely a wash. I think I can cross that one off my list. Pretty slim pickings in there as far as games go. They got like a good selection of books and things. I always go through the books just in case they have like some Tintin. I'm lucky enough to find some Tintin, or sometimes they throw like game guides and strategy guides, that sort of thing in with the kids' books. So I always have a browse through there, but nothing today. I managed to pick up a DVD for Scotty for his collection, in case he might want that on his shelf. But other than that, I can't see me making the trip over here again anytime soon. Maybe that's why I haven't been back here in so long in the first place. Anyway, I think I've got some more stuff to do over the other side of town, and I might stop in quickly, very quickly, to a Vinnie's op shop, secondhand shop over there. The one that just has all the video games in tubs on the floor. And I'll have a browse through there just very, very quickly for 5 minutes and see if they've got any luck for me. But otherwise, that will be it for the hunting this week. But yeah, we'll head over there, we'll see what they got. All right, wait till you see this. I present to you the game section. Well, no real luck, not game wise anyway, in old Vinnie's today. It's interesting there, isn't it? So no games today. I did find a couple of things in the DVDs that I grabbed that I was interested in, that were very, very cheap. So I'll show you those as part of the haul. But yeah, a bit of a wash on the old second-hand stores today. I mean, I'm still smiling, and that's largely because I've had some pretty big wins on the eBay front this week. They've all come in now, and yeah, there's some really, really good stuff that I had in mind that I was specifically chasing, and I managed to track them down and got some really good bargains on eBay. So I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna have a cup of tea, unload and like get all this garbage I've got in the car out of here, and yeah, the next time you see me, I'll share the week's haul. Look at that, yeah, baby!
guys, what a week. It has been a hell of a week here. But I still managed to get some goodies. The bag is here. The bag has goodies in it. So we're going to go through them. Far out. I tell you what, it has been slim pickings this week. I've had to hustle to get some stuff in this bag. Luckily, eBay came through in a pinch on a couple of things that I was looking for, so that's really good. But man, it has been a slim week, coupled with a perhaps questionable purchase that we'll get to very shortly. Anyway, let's go into it. Let's see what the week's haul and hunting turned up for us. Okay, so we're going to start off with some stuff that I picked up for my buddy Scott, part of the Sidescrollin channel. You already seen the Spider-Man DVD here. I think I checked in. I mean, this was $1, so it wasn't much of a gamble to try. I think all the things I grabbed him were $1. Turns out he's looking to pick up the full DVD set of the 90s animated Spider-Man TV show, so this will end up on my shelf. I've got a lot of good memories of this too from childhood, so I'm happy to put that on my shelf if it's not good enough for old Scotty. Another rejection from Scott that I found was, if I can get it in the light here, Doom 3. I'm not a huge Doom fan myself. I played the old ones in my younger years. My dad was a big Doom fan. So we had him in the house and I used to watch him play quite a bit. Whether I should be doing that as a child or not, I don't know. That's, capital parenting there perhaps. But anyway, but yeah, I think Scott said he's actually got like multiple copies of this already on his shelf, one for a number of different systems. So this one included, the 360 version included, but it's all there. In very, very good condition, all for the low price of one whole Australian dollar. It's one of Scott's favourite games of all time, as far as I know. So it might even end up sitting on my shelf just for that reason alone. We'll see. But anyway, it's in the rejection pile alongside Spider-Man. One that I picked up for him that he did not reject, however, was this one here, the Mega Drive Ultimate Collection from Sega. So this has got, an epic collection of over 40 gaming classics. So just a big mix-up of all of their headline titles on the Mega Drive. Again, all complete in box, all really good condition, which is excellent. Just give us some examples of what's on here. They do Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3, Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3, Echo the Dolphin 1 and 2, Shining Force 1 and 2, Golden Axe 1, 2, and 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4, Alex Kidd, Shinobi 3, Columns, Altered Beast, Sonic Spinball, Kid Chameleon, Vector Man, and other great titles. So we had a win there. We had a win for $1 for Scotty there. So we managed to find those at the Cash Converters stop-in. Now, I picked a few things up for myself in that Cash Converters stop-in. Again, I've been in there a few times. I've never seen anything, superly attractive. But as I saw last week, they were just clearing a whole bunch of shit out for $1, which is why I picked, these up for Scott. The two Xbox games. I picked that up at a Lifeline, the Spider-Man one. But I grabbed a couple of things in there for myself just because they were $1. If they were any more than $1, I wouldn't be that fussed about having them. But because they were $1, I thought, why not? The first one I got was Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition. Again, I've just played through this with Scott on the channel, and you can go back and watch that. Had a thoroughly enjoyable time. But this is all, again, there, complete in box. It's not in perfect condition. The label and the cover have some scuffs and, it's a bit warped. But again, for the sake of $1, we've just created a fresh new gaming memory around this game. So I'm happy to have that one in the collection on the shelf. So yeah, for $1, happy with that. This next one, it was $1, so I grabbed it because why not? I've never played it, But I thought anything that goes in the Zelda, like when you see Zelda, anything Zelda, that's a pretty much an auto grab for me at a secondhand store or a pawn shop, especially if it's $1. You don't often see Zelda titles for that kind of money, but I got this one for $1, and that is Link's crossbow training. Hey, I've never played this, never touched it, never messed around with it. I think this was... What did this come out for? Was this sort of in the lead up to Twilight Princess? Yeah, it looks like it. Or something along the lines of being a companion piece to Twilight Princess. Anyway, again, all complete in the case with manual. Discs in really good condition. The case itself is in really good condition. Doesn't look like it's possibly ever even been used or opened. So, a little bit dirty, like it's being lying around, but hopefully I can clean that up a little bit. But $1, you can't go too wrong with Zelda anything for $1, right? Like, what's the worst that can... The worst thing that comes out of this is it takes up that much space on my shelf for a little while, But anyway, Link's crossbow training, $1. All right. Let's tear the Band-Aid off. I don't know. I might have made a bad choice, guys. I might have made a bad purchase here. My first bad purchase. I don't know. You'll be the judge of that maybe, and you can tell me whether you think this was a stupid thing to do or not. It's been a good few days now. It's Saturday night here at the moment that I'm recording this. I think it was Tuesday that I went into Cash Converters and picked this up, and it was very much an impulse buy. I saw it there, and I don't know. There was a haze, and the next thing I knew, I was leaving with it. I mentioned it on last week's vlog that I ran across a in-shrink brand new copy of Mario Kart Wii on the shelf at Cash Converters, and I said if I went back there and it was still there, that I would be bringing it home. Well, here it is. Now, I can't obviously open it up and show you because it's a brand new in shrink. It's all still sealed. It was $39, right? That's the part that's sort of like getting me. That's the one that's like, like this has single-handed... I'd already spent the majority of my budget for this week on my eBay picks that I managed to come across. So this has completely destroyed my budget, and is a brand new in shrink copy of Mario Kart Wii worth blowing my weekly budget for? I mean, there are things out there that I do think are worth blowing my weekly budget for. I don't know that this is it. So I don't know how I feel about this. The Game Eye app tells me this is worth about $50. I paid $39 for this, as I said. You know what the real kick in the balls with this is, right? What really rubs salt in it to make me question whether this was a good or bad idea is that I got home and I was like, oh, I'm just going to check the because I keep all my old Wii games under the TV and the TV cabinet, right? I'm just going to go in and check and just make sure that, like, because at least okay, fair enough. Brand new in shrink. If I don't already have it, then I've got a copy of a very good Mario Kart game, right? Mario Kart Wii was a really good entry in the series. I've got a copy of it now. It can go in the collection. It was a bit pricier than what I wanted to spend, but at least I've got it, right? So I went digging around in the TV cabinet, and you know what? Like trying to find a home for this, and sure enough, I already own the fucking thing. It was right there when I pulled it. Son of a bitch. I've got 2 copies of Mario Kart Wii. One brand new in shrink. I mean, my copy doesn't have a manual or anything, so maybe it's that this will now get traded in, and I'll hang on to this. And I don't know, $39. $39, brand new in shrink. Have I made a terrible life choice here? I mean... I've made worse life choices. Let's be real. I've made a lot more worse life choices than $39 at Cash Converters. So maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill here. But yeah. Anyway, I've got it now. It's here. It's in the collection. And to be fair, you don't often run across first-party Nintendo titles in a second-hand market that are still brand new and shrink, right? I think that's what did it. Like, this might even be the first one I've ever seen still new in the shrink on the second-hand market in a pawn shop or a second-hand store, a charity shop, whatever. So I think that's what made me like pick it up and jump on it. It's just it's the fact that I broke my budget to do it that stings, and when I already owned the goddamn game, I just don't think it was worth breaking the budget over. But anyway, there it is. We went into a Vinnie's op shop. I poked my head in there very quickly. That was the one where they had the games in baskets on the floor, just chucked in there haphazardly. They had a few things in there, nothing I was chasing. I had a quick look at the DVDs. I did find a couple of things in the DVDs. Again, these are all $1, so I just grabbed them for the sake of the fact that they're $1. The first one was this. This is Chansey on the. Maybe that's better. Oh god, that's fucking nightmare fuel. This is the season 9 box set of the Pokemon anime, and it's all there in a very cool display case, as you can see. It all folds up. It's got a library there of what's inside. It's missing. It's supposed to have a slipcover, a clear slipcover with the Pokemon logo on it. It's missing that, but for $1, again, Pokemon, anything Pokemon for $1, you can't really go too wrong. So I snapped it up for $1. I don't think I've actually even seen this far ahead into the series. I think I had given out on the series quite a ways before we ever got to this point. But yeah, I think it's $1 well spent. You know, if nothing else, I can use it for Halloween, whatever. So there we go. Season 9, Pokemon anime. Which actually ties in nicely to the other thing that I bought there, and that was this little number was sitting there for $1 as well. Dragon Ball Z, the movie pack, the Welcome to Anime pack of the Dead Zone and the World's Strongest. There it is there. Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously with Akira Toriyama passing away tragically quite recently, it's got me thinking quite a lot about Dragon Ball Z and its impact on my life as I was, you know, during my formative years in high school. Thinking about Toriyama-san's impact on my life and his art and my desire to illustrate and draw. You know, we're looking at the whole Funimation, Crunchyroll hoo-ha that's gone down. That's really got me missing the days of physical media where that shit just didn't really matter because, you know, you've got the stuff and it's there and it doesn't matter who owns what. All of that's got me very nostalgic for a particular period of time. And I can see this, honestly, being the first of, you know, many purchases along this line of thinking while I'm in this sort of like headspace, I guess, you know, of recovering my my physical collection of Dragon Ball Z bits and bobs, because I didn't have any of it. I got rid of everything. Dragon Ball. I used to own quite a bit of stuff. The old box sets of the series, like the original box sets that came out in multiple box sets that still had like the Ocean dub for the first however many episodes until partway into the Namek saga. I used to own that. And you know, the over 9,000 meme, that classic Ocean line. I used to own that. That's worth quite a bit of money now. I got rid of all that, all the movies that I had, statues, figures, toys, the whole lot went. And Yeah, I wish I hadn't have done that. as is the case for almost everything that we talk about in this vlog, right? Like that's the whole point of it, is recovering all of these items that have gone off into the ether. But yeah, for $1, I saw this and was like, yeah, I'm having that. I'm having that for the shelf. It doesn't matter whether I ever take it out and watch it or not. Just to have it there for the shelf, on the shelf as a piece of physical memorabilia. Yeah, I'm cool with that. So yeah, I was wrapped with that one. Really, really happy to come across that. And like I said, it's now got me thinking, like, should I also be looking at like the DVD sections of these places? Because I usually just completely ignore those sections. But when I walked into this one, I just took a cursory look. Like I didn't even really have a very hard scrounge through what was there. I think they had Afro Samurai there as well, if I remember rightly. But to like come across these two, I'm like, man, maybe I need to start keeping my eye out for like physical copies of my favorite anime series, just to have on the shelf. Maybe that's not a bad idea. So anyway, I was really chuffed to get those two, and they, it had been a pretty lousy week as far as secondhand shopping had gone up until that point. So they were a nice little send off to the week for that. Okay, let's see if eBay can bring us back. eBay, I think, certainly has brought us back. There's a couple of things. I didn't get much on eBay. I only found 3 things on eBay this week. Again, like in the secondhand stores, it was really hard going on eBay this week. Really hard to find anything that I was chasing, or find anything I was chasing that I could actually afford, or that was in decent condition. So yeah, like I said, slim pickings this week. But the things that I did get, I was really, really happy to get. Let's get into the first one, and probably the strangest pick. There is another weird pick, but go with me here. There's a much better explanation for this one. So the first of my finds on eBay was the Uncharted trilogy, the first 3 of 4, right? Now, what makes these a weird pick? The reason that these are a strange pick to have on my nostalgia shelf is that I've never actually played any of these games, right? So it's like, so why do they earn a spot? Why, what's attached to them? I think the thing with Uncharted is, and I've talked to Dominic about this briefly, is that I actually adore these stories. I love this genre. Like I grew up on like Tintin, right? On Indiana Jones and that sort of thing. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Like that sort of globe trotting, finding old lost relics. Tomb Raider's another one. That whole genre just turns my crank. I absolutely love it. And so Uncharted was just fit right in there. The problem with this was that I felt, and this is where Dominic and I disagree, and that's fine. I feel like in these games that they very much want to be movies. That's what I think, okay? And I feel like the game gets in the way of the story when it comes to these. And I actually feel that about almost all of Naughty Dog's entries and a lot of PlayStation first-party exclusives, right? So I actually prefer to watch these as movies on YouTube, where people have like cut them together, cut all the cutscenes and pieces of gameplay together into, like in this case, I think they're like a 3-hour film, right? And they make excellent films, right? And I have watched each of these multiple times, okay, over the years since their release. And so I feel like I know the stories in and out intimately without having ever played the game. And I just absolutely adore them. I love them. My favorite one is actually the 4th. It's the fourth game is my favorite story. That's the one I love the most. I don't have it yet, but when I get it, that will complete the series, and I will be very, very happy to have all of those stories on the shelf. Yeah, I just love them. I just love the stories that they tell. The reason I feel like the game gets in the way, I feel like when I try and play these kinds of games, and I've tried a few times to play games like this, that I end up just getting frustrated, because to me, it kind of feels like it's as if you were sitting down to watch like Indiana Jones, right? And you watch 10 minutes of the movie, and then the movie pauses and you have to do some button inputs on the remote for 15 minutes to get to the next piece of the movie that then lets you continue the story. And then 10 minutes after that, you have to do it again, and then you do it. And it gets under my skin. It just annoys me. It frustrates me, where it's like, fucking game again is in the way. I'm just trying to watch the story. Let me watch the story. Let me watch my serials, right? So yeah, anyway, love the stories. Never played them, but I wanted them on the shelf because I adore them all the same. Make of that what you will in the comments. I'm sure you will let me know whether that is a ridiculous thing to say or not, but that's my hill and I'm dying on it. All right, let's get into the real good stuff. 2 more things to go for the week this week. The first of which is a game that I have sunk. Oh man, it's one of my most played games ever. And when I was playing it, like really playing it, it was almost to the point of it being a bit of a problem, to be perfectly honest. And that is Grand Theft Auto Vice City on the PC. I played this game so much that I like wore the play disc out. Like the foil actually started coming off it and you could just see through the clear plastic, and it stopped working eventually, right? I put a lot of time into playing this game, and like to the point where, when you're driving along in your car, right? And this is especially true for like a young teenage boy. If you're driving along in your car and you see like a truck, like one of those transport trucks that transports cars and other vehicles around, and they've got the top ramp down, right? Because they're putting cars on there, and you drive past and you think, oh, that looks like a great jump. I wonder if I could make that. And then you think, wait a second, you fucking idiot! This is real life. What are you talking about? It was at that kind of point, right? With old GTA Vice City. So I'm going to take this out. So this is all complete in box. There's the 2 lovely ladies. Brilliant manual. I fucking love this manual, man. Like the way it's sort of like laid out, just the colors and everything like that. It's the artwork in it. It's got like the advertisements in it for the in-game stuff. Yeah, I've said this 1,000 times before. Like I miss game manuals. Like I just miss them so much. They were such cool things. Why did they ever have to go away? It's even called the Vice City Tourist Guide. Like it's just brilliant, and that's exactly what it looks like when you flip through it, and it's great. So, yeah, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, a game I absolutely adore. I'm trying to think, man, it's hard to decide whether this is my favorite GTA or whether number 5 is my favorite. It's almost neck and neck. Like I love the story in this one. I think I got right up to the end of the campaign before my disc died on me. But my disc died on me because I spent so much time just fucking around, ignoring the campaign and doing almost everything and anything and everything but. So I never quite finished the actual storyline, I don't think, in this one. But I got very, very close to the end. And then it gave out on me. That's a lot of hours, man. Yeah, good old Vice City. So yeah, and I wanted the PC version too. This is not easy to find, by the way. Like you can track down the PS2 version of Vice City fairly easily and relatively inexpensively, but to get the PC set, that took some doing. Like I said, it was hard going this week, and it was hard tracking this one down for decent money. I think this is the only one that was available at the time. Luckily, I managed to get a fairly good deal on it. I think that one cost me a tenner, actually, $10. I didn't tell you about the Uncharted series. That was $10 for the whole 3. I think I actually got ripped off for that too, by the way, because I've seen them in CEX for like $2 each or $2.50 each. So, oh well, you live and learn. But yeah, $10. I was happy to spend $10 on one of my favorite games ever, and one I've got so many good memories around. Yeah, good old Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It's a classic. If you've played it, you know. Love it. Go the 80s. All right, and my last pick for this week is probably it's one I wouldn't call it a grail game, even though it is hard to find. It's not quite a unicorn. It's like one step down from a unicorn. It's kind of like a horse with like a traffic cone stuck to its head, right? It's if you squint, it's kind of a unicorn for me. So this next game, I actually remember going out on Boxing Day and buying a PlayStation 2 just so I could play this game. Just for this one game and nothing else, right? And that one game is not going to be a game that you're expecting, I'm sure, is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I love this game. I loved this game so much. I put a lot of time into it. I've said before on the channel, I'm not a fighting game guy. I just don't have the skill set for it. I don't have the patience for it. But this was an incredibly approachable fighting game that felt like the source material it was mimicking, right? And I found that to be quite a difficult thing for Dragon Ball Z games to accomplish, or it had been up until this point, the Budokai series. But man, this was fun. This was so good. In particular, the way that you could power up in the game and go through the different stages of power up and the different transformations that you may or may not have depending on your character. The way that you could knock each other around to different sections of the stage, the way you got into those like sort of button mashy full-on fist fights. It was such a good game. The teleport battles, right? Where you'd be like, how do I do this? Like two here and then, and who would screw up the first and get hit. It was such a good one. It's all there. Now, there were a few copies of this. This is not cheap. For a PlayStation 2 game, this was not a cheap one to find. I got a really good deal on this one at $30, right? I got this for $30. There were more expensive ones available that were not complete in box. They were all missing the manuals. So I found one that did have a manual. I was lucky enough to get a good price on it. Thank goodness. It came with a big, this game, if you bought it at the time, it used to come in like a tin, like a collector's steelbook kind of tin. So it had the big sticker on the front advertising that it had a tin. Obviously there is no tin. So I've removed that sticker and cleaned it up, and it's in pretty good condition now that it's all tidy. Let's have a look through the manual. What do we got in here? Is it a good manual? No, it's a boring manual. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. It's like when you open it up, like, oh, game manual. Oh, words. Oh, so many words. But it's there, damn it. It's there. Yeah. A rarer game than I expected it to be. I didn't realize that this would be quite as difficult to obtain as it was for decent money. There were copies of this going for $50, $60 or more dollars, and I was like, holy crap. But yeah, found this one. So glad I did. Such a banger of a title. Let me know if you played this game. I loved it. I think I must have played it at a friend's house and just absolutely fell head over heels in love. This is like at peak Dragon Ball Z. Like, it's right in that period of time where I was as far into this genre, into this anime, into this series as you could possibly even comprehend. And so I played this at a friend's house. Thought it was the best thing I'd ever played. And yeah, just literally, I did not own a PS2, literally went out and bought one and a copy of this on Boxing Day, just so I could bring it home and play this all Boxing Day long. And like face Boxing Day sale crowds and all, And I don't even think the PS2 was on sale on Boxing Day either, or this. So I would have paid full price for both of them. Luckily, I got a lot more use out of my PS2 over the years, so, thank goodness. But yeah, it had that kind of impact on me to go out and buy a whole console. So, yeah, an absolute cracker, that one. Really, really good. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. All right, let's do... Oh, God, I'm almost scared to do this. Let's do the week's wrap-up. Here we go. Oh, Christ. Well, there's the haul. So we've got Halo Anniversary was $1, Link's Crossbow Training was $1, Mario Kart Wii was $39. On eBay, we got the Uncharted Trilogy for $10, GTA Vice City for $10, Dragon Ball Z $30, for a grand spanking total this week of a budget-destroying, soul-crushing $91. Jamie, you imbecile. Oh, God. Oh, I'm going to have to be a good boy this week coming. It's not going to happen. We all know it's not going to happen. Oh, man. Time will tell. I tell you what, without Mario Kart Wii, I would have been hovering around $50, and that's just fine for the week. You know, that's sort of roughly where I'm sitting comfortably. Yeah. Oh, well, look, it's done. It's done. So that's it. That is the haul for the week, including Stott stuff. There it all is. The whole caboodle. So, yeah. There we go. A hard week. A hard, difficult week 3 on the hunt. So I really hope we get some better luck. Well, not that I'm complaining. Like I said, I got these two in particular. They were very highly on my list. They were ones I really, really wanted to have on the shelf, and that I'm very, very happy that I now do have. So, you know, the week was a win because I found these, for sure. Absolutely no question about it. I just hope the going is easier for week 4, and we actually can find some real juicy stuff that presents itself without having to dig so hard for it this time. But anyway, that's going to do it from me for week 3. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Make sure you keep on side scrolling, and I'll see you next week. Take it easy.